give you a brief reason why this is all occurring. Fiat economy versus economies that are backed by gold, that have the power to do it. You know what I mean? So it's the US, the European Union, Australia, the British, United Kingdom, a couple more versus, you know what I mean, the gold standard. Most of the African countries, you know, Lebanon, Libya, you know, China, Russia, a lot of the so-called wicked countries coined by Trump because they're not willing to fall in line with the US dollar to create a fiat system where in their country and have the whole world supplied on imagination. You know what I mean? My word will be the backing. No more gold, no more this and that. And that's been happening since Nixon. You know what I mean? Crazy, man. Unlimited printing. You know what I mean? Not backed by anything. Backed by force and terrorism and pressure. That's why the United States is like pushing all this stuff. It's not about freeing nobody. It's not about oil. It's not about nothing. They're trying to force everything within the eastern side, Russia and all them, you know, China and all them, which is their right, man. We don't want no note, this legal tender. We want this gold unit, this legal tender. You know what I mean? They used to say that on our dollar bills and then stopped that silver unit, gold unit. But they got rid of that after they decided not to back the monetary system, the US dollar, by any more gold or any more reserves. You know what I mean? So, like, they don't want to accept a printout piece of paper of a note or a promissory note to buy oil. They want to be backed by gold. You know what I mean? That's their push on that. You know, that's the reason why Iran is being Iran, which is their right, man. Like, you know, you gotta look who's been terrorizing the world. Just look for yourself. Who's been creating all these situations, you know? Who's sitting by having to defend themselves or just forced to respond? You know what I mean? Russia, China. You mean to tell me the U.S. had all these guys in check? Nah, they're self-contained, man. They're building themselves up, building their people up. You know what I mean? And in case someone tries to invade, they're getting themselves ready. But they're on the counter. U.S. is on proactive, you know? They lost in Vietnam. You know what I mean? World War I was more of a different form of infantry war. You know, World War II was now the nuclear situation, you know, and they did not have to really drop that bomb. You know what I mean? They wanted to do that so they could have easy access of fear to take advantage of everybody to this point, which is happening now. You know, most of the world is not really caring about this Israel, the Dome of the Rock, and all these. They look at it like these religious factions are terrorists. You know what I mean? These people are enabling, you know, pervertedness and financing it to push it all through the schools with all these same-sex, this and that. It's backed by them too. You know what I mean? The Vatican, Rome, all that, man. You know, so these new people are like this, man. We're not fighting for the war machine no more. We're fighting for the people, you know. And there's hackers out in the world that are way better than what the CIA has. That hasn't even captured yet. Because if you're good, they're gonna steal you, capture you, reprogram you, or murder you. You know what I mean? You know. But there's people out there that are way ahead in terms of already in underground. They're already, for 20 years, they've been waiting for this moment, you know, for the people. And they're powerful, you know what I mean, without no money. They have access, they have brains, their IQ level is off the charts, you know. Anyways, you know, so it's over this economy situation where we're trying to go ahead, the U.S., which I don't back, we're trying to go ahead and say this: we're going to keep printing money. we're gonna keep doing this as well, and we're gonna keep having these commissaries by a reputation that we'll pay them, and we'll just give them paper. So when this war pops off, we don't owe you nothing. You know what I mean? They took everything, they stole everything. You know what I mean? And then now, you know what I mean? Check out Gaddafi. He had hundreds and hundreds of tons of gold that he was able to back up the whole entire African Union. You know what I mean? They murdered him. Just like how JFK wanted to stop the war, they murdered him. How Nixon was going to start doing things for the people and stuff like that, they put LBJ in. And Watergate was all a big scandal. It's all been proven, man. It's all in-house. World Trade Center 7 just falls on its own. This is all U.S. inspired, man. Proven. You know what I mean? You didn't need no AI for all that. You know, these things are so obvious that. But if you're gonna have a bitter mindset, a lost mindset, you know what I mean? If you like being with the same sex, be joyful. I don't see many of them joyful, man. They're always trying to turn someone else into somebody that they're not. They're always trying to. So that's an oppressor. That's a person that's trying to manipulate the situation. So all those bitter people and all these weirdos that want to, you know, not think of the people and really ride with the elite don't even accept them. They're like their puppets. I mean, let me give you an example. Just for example, like you really think Hitler invented all that white power stuff that got it kind of like very popular. You really think the Aryan Brotherhood and all these people in prison that worship this guy, you really think if Hitler was alive, he'd say, man, you guys are gypsies to us. You're not part of us. You know what I mean? We're getting rid of you too. You know what I mean? So all this idea of you think you're part of something or you're following something, nah, man, you better go with the people and protect the innocent and oppressed and be with the people, man. You know what I mean? Because they do not accept it. They just use you, abuse you to create a situation until their laboratories, experiments are done with you and you're discarded. You know what I mean? You're not part of their group. You know, you have to be an elite lobbyist. Even some of those are going to be taken out. So that way they can have a monopoly on who's financing all these political people, which is basically the demonocracy republic, the treasonous Americans. You know why? Because they're taxing the people without representation. They're giving billions here, billions there, and not billions to us. Our infrastructure is destroyed. America is like leaking on purpose. You know what I mean? Because they set it up like that. Oh wow, all these other places, everyone got private schools, everyone got new roads, everyone got everything new. Because, you know what I mean? Building up the new elite situation, and it's still power to people, man. What's up? Bigaloa, Hoganente, Tau Tau Mona, yeah.